you're a normal person and you've come to kind of know yourself, as I've reflected upon being in Seattle right now and remembering my life as it was, and that I was going places, man. I had goals. I was growing up and doing good stuff. And I comparing my life to how I was then, a lot that changed it was Bitcoin. So I came to know myself, and so a person could very well know themselves, and then they start to get their incentives and their minds shifted steadily or tremendously from Bitcoin. And I find myself, and I would think to see it in others, where they're going through this shift, and man, the emotions they come back at you like, man, this hits me in funny ways, unexpected ways, where I thought I had stuff figured out for reasons, and now I'm reevaluating some deep things, including myself. And again, kind of like ego death capital or something. It's experiencing that again.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where you're starting either a continued sideways journey in another direction, or you're kind of reeled back and reconciling like, wait, who am I again? So Bitcoin adds another challenge to you to say, you thought you knew how the world worked. And little did you know, you took the red pill, the orange pill.
Yeah, exactly.
And off you go some more. So
for sure. Well, that's one of the neat things about Bitcoin. And the thing is like, what I see a lot of Bitcoiners do is they get to a place where they go, okay, now I've got to figure it out, right? Like I think people are always striving towards a control point, right? Like they go, I need to get to a place where I can feel in control. And I think it's a natural sort of habit, right? To feel like you have some sort of control over what's going on around you, or, because otherwise it's very chaotic and can be very scary, right? Life can be scary. And it's a source of great anxiety I think, for a lot of people. So with Bitcoin, there's like this sense of like, okay, I'm now in control of like my money or this or the other thing. And what they end up pulling short of like what the actual revelation is, And part of the problem with fiat, and especially the fiat system that both of us grew up in, is that it's been slowly cultivating us to be farm animals. I mean, we are being harvested, and just like in the Matrix or whatever. And so people, when they think about life or who they are or all these kind of things, they've all been grossly influenced by fiat shenanigans. And those fiat shenanigans are designed with the solitary purpose of extracting value from you, right? So if like you'll see people that say things like, oh, I'm a Ford guy, I'm a Chevy guy, I'm a truck guy, I'm a rock and roll guy, I'm a disco guy, I'm a this, that, they identify with their consumption, right? And that is a huge problem, because if any part of your personality or who you are as a human being is tied to the things you buy and own, then you're already on the hamster wheel, and it's really hard to break free from that. And that was the thing I think that drove me more than getting my ass kicked, was losing everything was the sort of bigger catalyst, when I was in that moment of going like, oh, right as I was coming to terms with the idea like, hey, all of my social behavioral aspects are corrupt. They've been corrupted by early influence, and I need to fix that now. Shortly after that, the rest of my identity, which was tied into like, I'm a guy that gets a new BMW every year. I'm a guy that's got a big library of books. I'm the kind of guy that has this kind of game system. I'm the kind of guy that has all the new tech gadgets. I'm the kind of guy who does, I'm the kind of guy, I'm the kind of guy, I'm the kind of guy. And then you go, okay, well, what happens when that kind of guy is gone because all that shit disappeared because the fucking fiat rug got pulled out from under you? You go, oh, I'm the kind of guy that, well, I used to be a guy that drove a new BMW every year, but I don't have that anymore. And I used to be a kind of guy that really wanted an American Express black card. Like I thought that would be an accomplishment, but that's not going to happen now. I'm the kind of guy that likes to, I don't know, fuck, right? And that was sort of the big thing. Yeah. But it also made me realize like just how much weight fiat puts around your shoulders. Like it's a self-imposed yoke, like the most profound thought I had during that whole period, and it probably sound pretty benign right now, but for me, in my state of mind at that time, I went, all of that shit that I had, I carried with me everywhere I went. Yes, it was stored in my house in California. Yes, it was in the garage. Yes, it was stuff here. Yes, it was stuff there. Yes, it had a place to sit, but the weight of it was always around my neck. And the second that weight got lifted, I went, oh, wow. Oh, those were the chains that were binding me, not anything but my desire to acquire more junk, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
which is ultimately what resource extraction in a capitalist economy or pseudo capitalist, managed economy like we have, is to get you to give other people your resources, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second you step away from that is like, oh, but that's also like a thing Bitcoin kind of does to some people. But I still see a lot of people like, oh yeah, there'll be signs when Bitcoin hits big, I'm going to have a Lamborghini or whatever. I'm just like, I don't think you quite realize what that means. And when people picture like a Bitcoin standard, we talked about this in the past. I go, what does the world look like on a Bitcoin standard? I go, it's not going to look like you got a new cell phone every year. It's not going to look like you have fast fashion. It's because it can't. That world can't exist. That is a fiat world. All those things are fiat comforts, and they're all designed with the sole solitary purpose of extracting maximum resources from you. So if you want to live in a fiat world but have Bitcoin be the unit of count, I go, that's not a realistic proposition. That's a sort of a false hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
It requires a very different level of reflection on what it means to be in a fiat system, I think. So I'm hopeful that more Bitcoiners see that. And yet I also recognize, like, most people, like, I don't know anybody that didn't grow up in a fiat system, right? Actually, that's not true. I know one guy that did. He grew up in a little hippie commune in Santa Monica Canyon where these people had been squatting for like 50 years. And he had a very, very, very different take on how to live life and what everything looks like and what it meant to consume things or not consume things. And he was such like an amazing human being just to watch how he operated in the world, because it was very, very different than, even after I had gone through all my little changes, I was still like, oh my God, I'm still kind of hung up on this fiat shit, because this guy's living that life like free of it 100%. Like, he was born free of it. He existed his entire adult life free from it. And he's now integrating himself into the fiat world because that's what reality dictates, right? Like, you don't get to escape sovereignty or sovereign rule. But the way he does it is very different. Like, he was a guy who in 2000 and what was it, 2016 maybe? I can't remember when I was living in Santa Monica, but he was a guy who had a landline that he was getting off like the budget landline system and didn't have a cell phone. So what do you do if someone needs to get a hold of you? Well, they can leave a message on my answering machine. I was like, that's crazy, dude. Like, that's so incredible. But he was completely and perfectly happy to do that, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't going around buying like new furniture. He wasn't doing all this crazy shit. And he was living like this really sort of neat, like, existence within a fiat constraint, So,
Mm-hmm.
but it made me reflect a lot. Like, what do I really value here? Like, to this day, I'm so thrilled with my little Prius. I'm just like, I love this thing, right? If you had asked me that same question, would you ever drive a Prius 15 years ago? Fuck no. Even after all my big shifts and changes and adoption of Bitcoin, fuck no. I want a truck. I want a BMW. I want this. I still would have been hung up on like the fiat trappings of peacocking and, but I don't now it actually gives me more joy, and I'm still mired in the fiat world, right? Like, I still buy fiat shit. I still do fiat things because you have to, because we're part of a fiat system. And like, imagining yourself escaping from that, like the one guy I've seen on Twitter that's actually done that is 100 Acres Ranch guy, who's out.
Mm-hmm.
He's legit doing the thing. Like, I'm not on. You take your fiat and fuck yourself, right? Like, he's not going to the grocery store. Well, I mean, maybe he's going to the grocery store. I don't know, but
Yeah.
But until you get Amish, you're still kind of like you're still in the matrix on some level, So
Yeah, and there's little things that people might haven't not really even think about that you grapple with when, like this time of year, it's a good reflective season change time to do it. When people go out, they go hunting or they go camping, and for some people that means all the trappings of stuff they bring with them, and it's luxury glamping. But I mean, a lot of people I know, it's that opportunity time to detach, unplug, not have that shower every day, or if you do, stay hygienic, you're doing that differently. You think about what 100 Acres Ranch is doing out there in his acreage, and the simple things, your food, your refrigeration, your showering, your, just brushing your teeth in the morning. All of that is fundamentally functional for him and yet different.
Mm-hmm.
People who conceptually could say, yeah, I could simplify my life, I could be Spartan, and yet you kind of have no idea what that might really be if it
Right.
was something quite sustainable or minimalist. Not just like, oh, I uh, forgo this or that a little bit. It's more like, no, fundamentally,
Right.
if you imagine a great realignment being something much different but much sustainable, the things that we take for granted now that are effectively luxury but are normal, if some of that went away, that would be a hard shift for a lot of people. It would throw people's mental illness or mental health off. Um,
Short
and
term. Yeah.
and how long have we had, say, the ability to text anyone we want at any time, be accessible anytime, whatever. I mean, what, 10, 20 years, maybe? It's like, well, how did people exist before that? They didn't worry about it.
Right.
Their time preference was naturally different. You knew that, when you got back to the phone, you'd catch up or whatever. But when you were off doing things, you were unplugged. And you actually had that space in your mind as well, instead of like catching up on this or getting a dopamine hit there or ding. Oh, this is cool. To send, share, click. I'm connected.
Right.
That is so new. And I don't know where it's going in our human psyche, in the future, but it's addictive too. And so
By
it's
design.
almost, yeah, it's almost, it causes insecurity if people don't have that umbilical cord hooked in their brain all the time, where they're connected on that level constantly. Um, I mean, it'd be quite a practice for a part of the day, one day a week, you put your phone somewhere where it's not going to bug you, and you go do something away, and you'll find yourself like needing a hit, like, oh, I need to check something, or, oh, well, I could just look that up, or, well, what if someone had to text me? It's hard to let go of, but all that constantly kind of interferes with your own maybe historically natural state of humans reflecting on what they're perceiving.
Yeah.
So instead of like thinking about what they perceive, it's more like perceiving what they think,
Right.
taking reality in as at its fundamental base.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the entire essence of the fiat system requires you to engage in cognitive dissonance. Every single person in the world that is subject to sovereign authority has to go through the process of sovereign or cognitive dissonance and then acceptance of slavery. And it occurs in most people when they're 4 or 5 years old, I think, right? Because most people go, hey, wait a minute, how come I have to do this? Whatever it is, right? How come I have to pay this? How come I only get this for this? Why is this allowed? Why is this fair? And anybody can recognize that, like, the idea that some people get everything and you get almost nothing is not fair, right? Like, it's fundamentally not fair. And they go, what makes this okay? Well, that's just the system you're in. Why do I have to pay a tax? Like, wait a minute, isn't this my thing? Nope. Like Louis C.K. used to do a great bit where he would talk about playing Monopoly with your kids. And he goes, it's a great game to play with the kids because it lets them see real quick, like, what the reality of their situation is. Because, it's not like Chutes and Ladders or something where it's like, I get to go down the slide. It's like, okay, well, now you landed here, so I get to take everything that you have, and they just immediately go like, wait a minute, that's not cool. I don't like that you can just take everything I have because of a random roll. Like, that's
And
not
you
cool.
notice in the end game of Monopoly, if you're not doing well, it's a blessing to just get hooked up and go to jail.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my gosh, there's all these hotels coming up. Oh God. And like early game, oh, I'm in jail, I'm in timeout for a while. Darn it, I can't hustle harder.
Right.
And then towards the end game, if you're losing, it's like, oh, I'm in jail.
Thank God. Yeah.
What a parallel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Well, there was a neat experiment that someone did where they artificially gave people an advantage in Monopoly. Like they started off players with like double the money of everyone else, right?
I
And they
heard
showed
about
them. Yeah, they go here. You get to start with $200. Everyone else starts with $50. And they go, okay. And by the end of the game, these people were obviously doing way better, and they all attributed it to their own thing.
yeah.
They get big, they get cocky, they get all loud, they go, ha ha ha. I've got every single person that played the game, even though they knew for a fact that they started off on third base.
They were born on third base.
Yeah, they were literally born on third base right in front of their face, unmistakably, and every one of them adopted this idea of like, well, it's because I'm better than you that I'm doing so well.
I roll the dice better.
Yeah, I rolled the dice better. I just made better decisions. And they adopt all the same traits that you see amongst the wealthy in the United States, right? So it's kind of funny and illuminating in a way, but it also speaks to the kind of the depth of the rot that is in the fiat system, right? Because it corrupts you from day one. And the second you become aware of how unfair it is and you just agree to do it anyway, is the moment that you sacrifice your yourself to the state. And people do it very, very, very early on, and they accept, okay, I'm a farm animal, and they rage against it. They get mad about it. They, complain about it on Twitter, and then they keep doing it anyway. So you go, well, until you can fix that problem in your head, until you can reconcile that, or at least admit that you are in that situation, you can't ever change your circumstance, right? And Bitcoin is one of those ways where you can. I think a lot of people want to retain the controls they get from fiat, or the sense of control they get from fiat, and claim that they're breaking free from fiat, right? And I think there's a next level to that where you go, well, I am not only doing that, but I'm also recognizing that I'm still subject to it no matter what.
Yeah.
And there's no escaping it. Like, as long as we exist in a competitive system, there's no escaping sovereignty. Like, it cannot happen. There is no possible way to create a competitive system that doesn't involve someone setting rules about how that competition takes place. It just doesn't, it's impossible. There's a reason why hunter-gatherers don't have competitive societies. There's a reason why every agricultural society has competitive societies. And I attribute a lot of it to the myth around like where money comes from. Because to this day, I see super smart people like Jack Mallers just the other day. I was like, money solved the problem of barter. I go, no, it didn't. That's a fucking lie, dude. That's just not true. And but people would just go, yeah, money fixed barter. Now, so now we have perfect money. I'm like, it's not perfect money in the way you're thinking about it, because perfect money is that which is money is designed to extract from you. It's not there to help facilitate trade. Trade comes so you can pay your tax. Like, you have to facilitate a trade game, or else you can't find any way to pay your tax, right? Like, if you have no way to grow vegetables, if you don't have land or something like that, you need to figure out some other way to get money so you can pay your tax. So trade evolves from tax, not from money, from barter to money to people just naturally want to trade with each other. And that's how it's like, that's not how this system evolved. It's completely backwards to what the actual fundamental reality is. So, and I would just say, like, because the second I say that, people go, "Well, people have always traded. Indians trade." And blah. I go, yeah, but it's different. It's a different sort of thing. Like, me and you trade, right? Like, if me and you go to dinner right now and I say, pass the salt, that's a trade. That's a trade of your labor for my time, and et cetera, blah, blah, blah. We don't sit there and go like, well, okay, well, how much are you going to give me to pass the salt? It's just a voluntary exchange, because it's a human reciprocity thing, right? But that's how hunter-gatherers trade. They don't sit there and go, well, I gave you a lemon last week, so you owe me 3 mangoes this week. And like, they don't look at the world that way. It's a fundamentally different thing. It's called sharing. It's not called trading, right? So formalized trade systems and economies and things like that develop not because of some natural evolution of like sharing. They evolve because there is a need to facilitate that trade to accomplish things like paying a tax, which all societies have implemented on some level somewhere, because every sovereign does that, from the Egyptians to the European Christians, to the Ming dynasties and all those people, they all implement a tax for a reason, because that's how they became sovereign to begin with, is they extract resources from the people below them. So
Yeah, and we talked a lot about that last week. How the nature of origins of money and bartering, sharing versus actual tax reasons for having fiat monies. And as the national debt grows and grows ridiculously, or the government spending grows and grows insanely, sort of like something that Bukele said over a year ago, I think now, but basically the whole idea of taxation and paying tax, as opposed to the idea that, is this funding this? Does it even cover the interest on the debt anymore? No. So
right.
what does taxation become? It's like a humiliation ritual, or a reminder that who's in charge and what you earn is not yours. It's like that farmed training versus an actual economy.
Well, an actual economy can't exist because the actual economy is predicated on the tax, right? So you take away the taxing authority, and then the economic thing changes dramatically, right? Like people go, oh, we just have a no government. You go, all right, good luck with that. Like that, you can go do that right now in Somalia. You can go set up your little fucking libertarian, anarchist, whatever, anarcho-capitalist utopia in Somalia right now, and you're going to get shot full of holes within about a week. So good luck with
Yeah.
that. It's like there's a reason why gangs group up, and there's a reason why these economies formulate, and it's not because of just some natural desire to freely trade amongst each other and have like laissez-faire, we all get along, and I make potatoes and you make shoes, and we're going to trade this little thing in between to make it fair so I can get the right amount of potatoes for the right amount of shoes. Like that's all just fucking nonsense, dude. It's a fiction. It's all a fiction.
Thank you for watching this video. This is just a short clip from our full episode. So if you'd like to enjoy more entertaining wisdom found in our podcasts in their full context, just click a link in the corner. We are always sharing our big ideas on Bitcoin Liberty Live.